Today, we'll be showing you how to dissect a frog. We are using a frog for our first dissection because it is relatively easy to work with and its anatomy is easy to be seen. The dissection is divided into 3 parts. The first part is skinning, to be followed by the identification of its muscular system. And lastly, we will take a closer look at its internal anatomy. In performing a dissection, all materials should be properly placed in the working area. Proper attire and protective equipment is a must since it is critical for laboratory safety. Before we can identify the different parts of the frog, we need to paralyze it first by the pitting technique. It is performed by inserting a needle or metal rod on the frog's neck to damage its spinal cord. The first thing to do is to find a soft spot on the skull between the eyes. Then insert the needle and move it into circular motion for 5 to 6 minutes. This motion will help paralyze the frog faster. Signs of a successful pitting. Frog will remain limp, legs are extended forward or outstretched, and the frog will quiver. Single pitting will only destroy the brain, but the frog will still be able to breathe, muscle will still contract, and heart will still beat.
Before we can have a detailed view of the frog's muscular system, we need to skin it first.
Put the frog into the formalin for about 30 minutes before the skinning process. So we're going to get ready to skin the frog, and we need a forceps, tweezer, and the one for poking connective tissues. After putting the frog in the formalin, take the frog and rinse it off again, and then give him a nice massage to loosen all the skin tissues from the muscle tissues on both sides. Cut a simple opening on the pelvis, then cut it up to the chin and come back down towards the cloaca and down to the legs. For the incision of arms and legs, we are going to leave socks and mid-ends. Be sure to cut the center on the limbs and be extra careful on the right skin. Dig through the connective tissues, pull the skin up a little tight, use the one for poking, and just tick, tick, tick. After taking the connective tissue from the skin tissue, be ready to remove the skin properly and slowly.
I will be going to identify the different muscles of the frog on its ventral group.
Submaxillary, deltoid. This is the deltoid. Pectoralis is muscle in here. This is the cipistern. This midline, it is called the linea alba. This abs, this the rectus abdominis. Obliquus externus. Gracilis minor. And this larger one, it is the gracilis major. The adductor magnus. And this tiny sheet, it is the sartorius. The adductor longus. This muscle. And the tricep femoris. tibialis anticus longus, this muscle, and the extensor cruris is the tibiofibula, the gastrocnemius, this muscle, the tibialis posticus, and the tibialis anticus brevis.
Latissimus dorsi, Longissimus dorsi. This is also a part of Longissimus dorsi. Obliquus externus, Coccygeo sacralis, Coccygeo iliacus, Obliquus internus, Triceps femoris, piriformis, and the anus, iliacus internus, cutaneous dorsi, obliquus internus, semimembranosus, iliofibularis, gracilis minor, gastrocnemius, peroneus, tibialis posticus, tibialis anticus longus, and tendon of Achilles.
To expose the internal organs of the frog, we need to cut away some of the skin and muscle tissues covering the frog's body cavity. First is we grab the skin and pull it up to make our first incision without damaging tissue underneath the skin. We want to make a medical incision on the frog's ventral side, so our first cut will be a short snip in this area. We need to pull up the skin to loosen some of the tissues that connects the skin to the muscles. This connective tissues is called mesentery. Some of the mesentery easily comes loose, but some needs to be cut loose with a scalpel or a scissor. We need to use pins to secure the skin to the dissecting pad, then we repeat the procedure on the other side.
At this moment, we are now going to have a closer look at the frog's internal organs.
We are going to start with the liver, which has two parts. So this is the right lobe and this is the left lobe. On top of it, we can find the heart, and as you can see, it is still beating. And below the heart is the gallbladder. The next organ is the lungs, so this is the left lung, and this is the right lung. And this organ is the stomach, and connected to it is the small intestine. And attached to the small intestine is the spleen. And the semi-transparent sheet connected to the intestine is the duodenum. And this is the large intestine. Going under, we can find the kidney. So this is the kidney. And lastly, we are going to look for the pancreas. So this is the pancreas of a frog.
Now, we will look to the frog's head and the structure inside its mouth.
The frog has two sets of teeth. The vomiting teeth are found on the roof of the mouth. The maxillary teeth are found around the edge of the mouth. This is the tongue. And just behind the tongue and before you reach the esophagus is a slit-like opening. This slit is the glottis, and it is the opening to the lungs. In the center of the mouth, toward the back, is a single round opening, the esophagus. This tube leads to the stomach. Close to the angles of the jaw are two openings, one on each side. These are the eustachian tubes. They are used to equalize pressure in the inner ear while the frog is swimming.